Lobsters fishing. Lobsters are invertebrates with a hard protective exoskeleton. Like most arthropods, lobsters must shed to grow, which leaves them vulnerable. During the shedding process, several species change color. The lobster's head bears antennae. Because lobsters live in murky environments at the bottom of the ocean, they mostly use their antennae as sensors. Lobsters are omnivores and typically eat live prey such as fish, mollusks, other crustaceans, worms, and some plant life. They scavenge if necessary and are known to resort to cannibalism in captivity. Lobsters live up to an estimated 45 to 50 years in the wild. Although determining age is difficult, it is typically estimated from size and other variables. Newer techniques may lead to more accurate age estimates. Research suggests that lobsters may not slow down, weaken or lose fertility with age, and that older lobsters may be more fertile than younger. Lobsters grow throughout life and can add new muscle cells at each molt. Lobster longevity allows them to reach impressive sizes. According to Guinness World Records, the largest lobster ever caught was in Nova Scotia, Canada, weighing 20.15 kilograms. Lobsters live in all oceans, on rocky, sandy, or muddy bottoms from the shoreline to beyond the edge of the continental shelf. They generally live singly in crevices or in burrows under rocks. Lobsters are widely fished around the world for their meat. They are often hard to catch in large numbers, but their large size can make them a profitable catch. Although the majority of the targeted species are tropical, the majority of the global catch is in temperate waters. Legal restrictions apply to the catching of lobsters in many parts of the world, in order to prevent overfishing and allow recruitment to the next generation. Common restrictions include the provision of a minimum landing size, preventing fishermen from catching buried females, females carrying eggs, closed seasons, and limiting catches with individual fishing quotas. Several methods are used to catch lobsters, with the method depending largely on the species being targeted. Diving, hand fishing, and spearfishing. Slipper lobsters that prefer crevices, caves, and reefs are usually caught by divers. Once you master free diving, it really is the simplest, least cumbersome way to dive down and catch some bugs. At the very least, you'll don your mask, fins, weight belt, and snorkel, grab your lobster gauge, and head down. Gloves are always a good idea when hunting the spiny lobster because those spines are a bit sharp. If you want to take along a tickle stick, catch bag, net, or snare, they're totally optional, depending on your level of experience and skills. Find a lobster hole. Find an area that has reefs that look alive. A reef that looks alive is teeming with life and has healthy coral. Except for slipper lobsters, lobsters will not be found in sandy areas. Lobsters can be found in waters from 10 feet deep and deeper. Most people should not go deeper than 30 feet, 9 meters. Inform the lookout of your plans and have him or her monitor the water for sharks and excessive dive times. Discuss your working depths, cinch on your weight belts, and slip calmly into the abyss. Strive to relax to keep from hyperventilating. Search the reefs with repeated dives and you will find the lobster, an unsuspecting prey. Going past 10 feet, 3 meters, in depth, it gets dark. Even in the day, carry a small flashlight at the very least. After a while your vision will adjust to the darkness of the depths. Put the lobster in a mesh bag and ascend slowly. Rest in the boat if necessary if tired from the compression. Take just what you need, be thankful and return to shore. Lobster trap. The large Homerus lobsters are caught almost exclusively with lobster pots, also called lobster traps. These are large rigid objects which the lobster enters voluntarily, often to reach bait, and which it then cannot escape. Traps are also used in some spiny lobster fisheries. Lobster traps can either be wire or wooden. Today fishermen are straying from the wooden traps as they can be heavier than the wire. Traditionally, a lobster trap has 2 compartments. The outside, or kitchen, has nylon netting leading inside the trap to the parlor where the lobsters are caught. Lobster pots are usually dropped to the sea floor, 1 or more at a time, sometimes up to 40 or more, and are marked by a buoy so they can be picked up later. A long rope is attached to each trap, at the end of which is a plastic or styrofoam buoy that bears the owner's license number. A piece of bait, often fish or chum, is placed inside the trap, and the traps are dropped onto the sea floor. The traps are checked every other day by the fishermen and rebaited if necessary. Highly prized as seafood, lobsters are economically important and are often one of the most profitable commodities in the coastal areas they populate. Humans have eaten lobster since the prehistoric period. Large piles of lobster shells near areas populated by fishing communities attest to the crustacean's extreme popularity during this period. Evidence indicates that lobster was being consumed as a regular food product in fishing communities along the shores of Britain, South Africa 100,000 years ago. Lobster became a significant source of nutrients among European coastal dwellers. Historians suggest lobster was an important secondary food source for most European coastal dwellers, and it was a primary food source for coastal communities in Britain during this time. Caught lobsters are graded as new shell, hard shell, or old shell. Because lobsters that have recently shed their shells are the most delicate, an inverse relationship exists between the price of lobster and its flavor. New shell lobsters have paper-thin shells and a worse meat-to-shell ratio, but the meat is very sweet. Hard shell lobsters with firm shells but less sweet meat can survive shipping, so they command a higher price than new shell lobsters. Meanwhile, old shell lobsters, which have not shed since the previous season and have a coarser flavor, can be air-shipped anywhere in the world and arrive alive, making them the most expensive.